Hey, what's up, guys? Just want to check in with you once more. The last video I did was from the cockpit of the E46 M3, and I'd been driving that car because I was trying to get it smogged and so forth and so on. You've probably seen that video. If you haven't, take a look at it, because this dovetails right up into that particular video. The reason why I'm doing this video is because in that video I mentioned, of the 3 cars that I currently still have, which one, if I had to choose one, would I take over the other 2? So today, for the last week actually, I've been driving this guy. This is the FC Mazda RX-7, 1990 model. And I've had this car for a while. And it's in fairly good shape. It needs a little this, a little of that, TLC here and there. But I don't think anyone who owns an RX-7 would disagree with the fact that most of them need a little bit of something. But this car has been actually pretty reliable compared to some of the other stuff I've had. Not that the others haven't been reliable, but this car has required less money to keep it running. Water pumps are fairly easy to deal with. I did one of those years ago. That was pretty easy to do, did it myself. Other than that, oil changes, tune-ups, keeping the plugs clean, and all that kind of stuff are really the main things you got to focus on. And so I've been driving this car for a few days now, and pretty much the same theme as with the E46. When you're driving it, it's a joy to drive. I quite enjoy driving it. Very simple, very straightforward design, nothing overly like technological, nothing complex. Other than holding a frickin' phone. But here you go. Here's the inside. I've got these seat covers. They're from a company called Wetakoli. It's actually a good friend of mine that owns it, and he had made designs for this car. As you can see, this has the headrest with the speaker, so he created this to fit that specifically. So I've been rocking these for years because my seats are, as you would imagine, on a car that's all jacked up. They're leather seats, so yeah, that's why I need covers. I like the simplistic layout of this car. I love the gauges. They just kind of remind me of like a time when sports cars just had a specific theme. Like when you got in a sports car, you knew exactly what you were in. And this is what this car feels like. Very old school sports car. It also smells very old school sports car. One of my favorite bits about this car is the exhaust note. It's actually kind of deep. I should let you guys hear that a little bit. Hold on. So that's not bad, if I say so myself. One of the things that's really cool about this, in 1990, Mazda had the wherewithal to put an actual glass window in the back. And this has got the defrost lines and everything in it. And if you remember, for those of you who know this time frame, who were driving, if even alive at this time frame, most of the cars that were convertible in this period had the plastic windows, you know, the ones that you see them and they're all hazed up, you can't see jack out of them. And that was BMW, that was Merc, pretty much everybody was doing that. So this was pretty rare. And then they followed this up with the Miata. It also, you could have gotten it with a glass window. So all in all, man, this car is just a delight. It's very back to basics, and that's what I like about it. Very grassroots sports car. Not to mention it's extremely good looking, in my humble opinion. So what's it like to drive? It won't blow your mind, but it's fun. I mean, you get this thing spinning up. Grid line is 8,000 RPM. And you can take it to 8,000 RPM You'll feel a lot happen right about this area, 6,000. So the way that the throttle bodies work, there's a bit of a secondary that kicks open as you get to this RPM, and you can feel the car sort of lunge a little bit when you get there. So everything opens up, the butterflies are wide open, and the car actually gets a little bit more pickup at that point, which, you know, for as small as this engine is and as little horsepower as it has, you wouldn't think it had anything left up there, but it actually does. And if you hold it till 8,000, the thing is really moving. And you wouldn't think it's going that fast, because from the inside of the car, it doesn't sound like much of anything. I mean, it sounds great out there from the exhaust note. And at low speeds, I can hear that burble from it a little better, and it's kind of cool, especially when I'm inside a parking deck. But you don't really get that same sense when you're, you know, driving it at full tilt. But then you look at the speedometer, and you know, you'll be approaching 100 miles per hour pretty quick, relatively speaking. I mean, this car has about half the horsepower as the M3, and about 110 to 15 less than the 993. So, you know, you got to keep in mind what you're talking about here. It's not a super light car. This car was pretty heavy. So the fact that they upped the horsepower in the 1990-91 model was definitely deserved and needed, because the previous model only had about 140 something horses. It was equally as heavy, and it wasn't all that quick unless you got the Turbo 2, you know, or some turbo variant of this particular model. It wasn't a quick car, but for what it was and what it would do, it's pretty fun. And I have to say that when I'm driving this car, I'm usually having a good time. And it doesn't matter that it's not the fastest, but you know, it definitely gives you a very visceral experience from a driver's standpoint. And that's what I'm all about. That's one of the things I really love about cars, is that when you're driving certain cars, you feel like you're an extension, or they're an extension of you. You're very connected to it. Going through the gears in this car, feeling the acceleration as you know, depress the clutch and, you know, press the accelerator, it all just kind of, you know, appeals to the senses, in my opinion, and it really makes driving enjoyable. And that's kind of my mantra. I mean, driving is the essence of the car, period. And so any car that you drive and you feel like you're connected to and you have fun in, that's a pretty amazing car. So 0 to 60, I probably wouldn't outrun my Altima, but I'll have a lot more fun getting there. I'll put it like that. So the debate continues. I still don't know. I haven't heard much from you guys, so check out the BMW video. I'll put it up so you can see which one that is. Comment on it. Let me know what you think. Comment on this one. Of these two cars so far, where do you stand? Obviously, I've got the 993, which I'll be jumping in again soon, because now I got to just compare it against driving both of these. But let me know what you think. I don't know that I'm going to be getting rid of anything, but I don't know that I'm not going to be getting rid of anything too. So you got to watch to see what happens. All right, guys. Peace out, or we'll drive.